Welcome back. Jason Gorber is a film critic for twitchfilm.com. He joins us now in our Toronto studios to talk about the big movies. You've actually been talking about a documentary called The Act of Killing. What's that about?
Yeah, this is a film I saw last September at TIFF, and it completely blew my mind. This is not only one of the best documentaries of the year, it's one of the best documentaries of the last 10 years. Basically what happened is a series of filmmakers went to Indonesia and interviewed a bunch of people that have been responsible for killing up to 1 million people in that country. All these decades later, they said, why don't you tell us what you actually did? And they are given video cameras to recreate the actions that they did in actually executing these people. They basically make a musical within the context of Indonesia. It sounds very weird and dark, but the way they've actually managed to do this film, it is an incredible examination of the nature and banality of evil. It is an absolutely tremendous film that is incredibly important for people to see and a wide audience to see.
Really? Okay, so sticking with documentaries, Blackfish sounds like it has sort of an unusual premise as well. Is
Right.
that sort of the way documentaries have to go nowadays to get that kind of reaction, or are these legitimate stories?
Yeah, these are two very different documentaries for me. Blackfish is very much a documentary for people that sort of already agree with an issue. They go in a documentary and they have their own points of view reinforced. Blackfish is the story of an orca. It killed somebody in Victoria, got sold to Seaworld in San Diego. It ended up killing one of the trainers. So it's pretty much a commercial for boy, isn't it bad, the stuff that Seaworld does. Act of Killing, on the other hand, really makes you question some of your most fundamental and core views. Whatever your views are going into this film, you're going to be challenged. And for me, I love documentaries when they actually really get under your skin and really challenge you and make you think about stuff. Blackfish is totally fine, and a lot of audiences will really love it. It's not really saying very much that's new. It does it in a fairly entertaining way. There's a film called The Cove that came out a couple years ago that I think was much more effective at least dealing with some of the issues surrounding all of that stuff.
Okay, let's go to the wide releases. Right. What were some of the big movies that came out?
Well, Turbo came out. That's the big animated snail movie. It's Fast and the Furious with snails.
Big snail movie, yeah.
It's Fast and Furious with snails, and it's got a really crazy cast. I mean, Reynolds is in it. Paul Giamatti is in it, and it's decent. It's one of these DreamWorks animation film that does what it can. You have snails running around a NASCAR track. What's not to love? Okay,
and also tell us about the other one, Turbo. No, Red 2.
Right. So Red 2, the sequel to the film that came out a couple years ago. Again, a comic book movie, DC Comics coming out. Basically, they're retired but extremely dangerous. So you have people like Bruce Willis, John Malkovich. Helen Mirren is amazing and completely beautiful in this film.
Really? She's always so good.
She's so incredibly seductive at nearing 70. She's the sexiest hit person ever on film. She's absolutely tremendous. And it's a film where the charisma of the interplay between them all is fabulous. Mary Louise Parker, who's also in it, was in the original, absolutely steals the show. It's not tremendous, but it's absolutely a lot of fun.
Do you have to see the first one to get the second one?
Yeah, it helps, but honestly, there's not so much plot going on here. It's just a bunch of people blowing up stuff real good and a lot of interplay with the characters.
A lot of interplay. Okay, and also R.I.P.D?
Right, so on the opposite side, the guy who did the original Red has now directed the R.I.P.D, which is about a bunch of dead cops trying to prevent dead people from being on Earth. You have Jeff Bridges doing a little bit of the dude from Big Lebowski and a little bit of his character from True Grit, again with Ryan Reynolds. It is sort of Men in Black, but not really good. The computer graphics isn't particularly great, and the story, even though there's some supernatural elements like Ghostbuster-y kind of stuff, it really kind of falls apart. But again, Mary Louise Parker, who's in both of these films, is the one person that steals the show. She walks around in these great little white boots. That's part of the plot line, and she does a really great job doing it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, Ryan Gosling also back on the big screen. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Ryan Gosling is in a film called Only God Forgives. Nicholas Winding Refn, absolutely tremendous film. Very beautiful, very stark. For people who saw Drive last year, which was very shocking to some people, this is an even more somber version. It's definitely an art house film. A lot of people, like at Cannes, it got booed by people and got standing ovations from people. Absolutely one of those films that will divide audiences. I thought it was actually quite impressive. I got a chance to speak with Mr. Winding Refn, and we sort of went back and forth about what people like it. He loves that people hate it, but he also likes, I think, that when people really get it. It is a film worth seeking out, but again, I cannot encourage this enough. People go out and go see Act of Killing. It is something that will actually really affect you.
So thanks so much, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
All the best.